Hi Sagis, how are you guys doing? Welcome to Sagittarius Tarot and another daily oracle reading. Today is the 20th of November 2023. That's 2023. Now, let's calculate these numbers and see if we're gonna get that 20 number and see if we're still in that magical period. All right? Okay, let's see. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 equals 11. And so unfortunately, we're no longer in that magical period. Does that mean the magic ended? No. What it means is that that amazing, really extraordinary and unique period that we were in served its purpose. And so you probably like through the seeds of manifestations and set the intentions, and now, everything will be unfolding and manifesting as you go along. But the the seeding or the intention or the magic and asking for what you want sort of, passed, and now it's the unfolding times. And 11 is very, very nice number because it has a lot of power. It is the number 1, but like double, right? Like 1 1, and 1 is already like beginning, new, birth, identity, image, independence, looks, the way you present yourself. I like it a lot. And when it's an 11, that means it's double the energy, so it has that also, like, it transcends the one, it transcends the me, so it starts to use it becomes like more about using what you have established for yourself to make a difference in the life of others, right? Because 1 1 will transcend the 1. And so 11 usually like carries an energy of like someone who's a leader, like a natural born leader. And so we're still, by the way, like in that leadership energy. If you've been following the deities, it was all about the leadership. And so this talks again about a natural born leader, right? Using their influence to encourage this time others. So here your role is more of a role of emotional support, right? Because here you're all about encouraging them to find their own answers, encouraging them to go for that move, encouraging them to believe in themselves, things like that, right? And so that's really a great energy. Now this can as well be, reversed. I usually tend to read and center my readings about you and what you do for yourself and others. But of course, sometimes it might mean that, there's a natural born leader out there that's using their influence to encourage you. But mostly I'd like to focus on, the growth and the self-development in my readings. But I would still mention to you that. So let's see, that 11, right, is 1 1. And so that's the energy of 2, which is still magical in a sense that, like, 20, November, right? 20 is the 2 anyhow. It's the energy of 2, more or less, right? Because 2 plus 0 equals 2. So there's still a lot of magic going on and a lot of power in these dates. Now, 2 is usually a number of like caring, nurturing, relationships, partnerships, patience, all these things that are essential for a relationship to flourish. And so for that purpose, 2 would be carrying the energy of affection. And so this talks about an affectionate demeanor. And if we tie up that with the 11 today, it will be telling us that somehow, right? Somehow you're going to be like you will be using your affectionate demeanor, right, to encourage other people, right? And so that's how you lead them today, through affection, because there's many ways to lead. And so today is all about affection, you know, showing that other person that you get them, you understand them, you know where they're coming from, things like that. Or if we're not talking about people, we're talking about situations that could also apply, like knowing where a situation is stemming from, knowing what causes it, understanding it. The works. All right. Now, let me pick for you the daily oracle card for the day. And so let's see what you will get. I decided to use the Ascended Masters today. And so let's see which card you will get from that deck. Oh, beautiful. Pallas Athena. Detach. Okay. So, the card you're seeing in front of you is an edited version of the original one, because in the original card it says detach from drama. And you might ask, why would I edit the drama out of the card? Because for me, I'd like to look at the broader energies of a card, and so what they carry. So for me, it's detachment. I don't know, this is just like a personal preference. I don't like it when a card just is very, very specific, you know, like if a card just talks about like detaching from drama and people be causing drama in your life. Oh my God, so much drama, you know, like things like that. I don't know, for me, that's too literal. This is like, you know how like some cards sometimes would be too, I feel like they're too limiting. Like if a card would tell you, I don't know, like today you're gonna eat cake, or you're gonna go out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, right? So the whole point of my readings is to extract the energy, the essence of things, to understand how they affect our lives and how we can grow from them, rather than, you know, trying to describe very particular scenes that I personally don't feel like, I don't know, they add to anything. So, to go back to the reading. So, this card says detach, right? Now, also another disclaimer, sometimes when I take affirmations from the card, I also like edit them or like proofread them or rewrite them to convey like a broader meaning that I think would bring a lot more to the table. So example, in yesterday's daily reading, the affirmation like had the word in nature, like I meditate in nature or something like that. So for me, you know, putting a context or like a specific situation, for me, doesn't really, I don't know, I feel it even takes away from the meaning, because I wanted you to focus on I sit alone and meditate, regardless of where. Because for me, like, whether it's in nature, in your bathtub, like in the attic, who cares, right? So yeah, just thought to like share with you that. So whenever I find what I call fluff, I remove it from like the affirmation. And so I edit them and rewrite them. And sometimes I edit the cards, but I'd like to mention it specifically like in the cards, just in case you saw that card that was different in like somewhere else, okay? So yeah, there's a lot of work that like goes in the background of these readings too. Okay, now the affirmation that I chose, right? It's an edited one that I, you know, extracted from this card. And it says, repeat with me 3 times to invoke its energy. The situation calls for my wisdom. The situation calls for my wisdom. The situation calls for my wisdom. Okay? So, what does that mean exactly? This is talking about a situation, right? It doesn't have to be, like, it could be conflict, right? It could be an argument. It could be a celebration. It could be a positive situation. It could be an argument. It could be a compliment, whatever it is. right? Whether it's on the negative side or on the positive side, whether it's on the neutral side, at the end of the day, it's a situation. And so in that situation, right, this card is asking you, or this energy is asking you to use your wisdom. And how do you use your wisdom in unfolding this energy? It is to detach. Now let's talk detachment. And I'm thinking this is also like how this is all tying up with the affectionate demeanor and using that to encourage other people. So let's talk further about this. What is detachment? Detachment is like being able to relate to a situation or news or something that someone shares with you, or that you stumble upon, that someone maybe shared them in the public, right? Doesn't have to be like personally shared it to you. Maybe it's news on the media or like on the social media, whatever it is, right? A situation that you can relate to, that you can understand where it comes from or where the other person is coming from, even if you never had it per se, that similar experience. So you could be either you relate because you had a similar experience, or you can understand where they're coming from because you had a similar experience. This also talks about when you have this, when you relate or when you understand. Detachment is showing either sympathy or empathy. So sympathy is like feeling bad for someone, or like understanding that they're going through something difficult, although you know that you're not going through. So being able to understand, right? When you understand something, a situation, you will feel sympathy. And then there's empathy, which means you relate. It is when you feel something because you understand, you relate to them. And so you can tell you remember how it felt for you back in the day, let's say. But in both cases, you are not right now channeling their emotions, right? And so that's detachment. So you can relate to someone and feel empathy. You can understand someone and feel sympathy without, channeling them and becoming, a conduct to their energy. Okay? And that is usually like detachment, and it's one of the healthiest energies that one can experience, because that means you can feel with someone, you can cry with someone, you can laugh with someone, you can experience all these feelings without, at the end of the day, like once that interaction is over, feeling as if you had that experience again in your life, right? So let's say someone loses someone dear to them, right? And you have experienced, let's say, loss in that way, and so you lost someone dear. So and so that you'll relate, you'll cry with them, but at the same time, you might relate to them, you might feel sad for them, all of these things. And then once that interaction is complete, you go back and you resume your life, because at the end of the day, it's not you who lost. Right now, you grieved back in the day, let's say, when you did things like that. Because the other scenario is like when people don't detach, is like, and when they start channeling and projecting and doing all these things, is that like if your neighbor's cat got lost, then you start acting as if you're the one who lost their cat, right? I don't know where that cat example like came from. If someone, I don't know, won $1 million, then you start acting as if you won $1 million. So you come back, you start feeling high and all this excitement, whatever. So the same, whether it's negative or positive. And for me, that's, I don't know, that is unhealthy. Because again, detachment from the way I see things today is like the way to go. Okay. All right. So what is also like, let's layer it more. What is detachment as well? Detachment as well could be experienced when you're detached from the end result. And so that's expectations. That doesn't mean like you're not gonna have expectations. You know, there's like some things that are just spoken, but that are not 100% accurate. Like, there is no way that someone would do something and have zero expectations. Like, it's a figure of speech, right? Of course we have, but the difference is like, when you're detached, that means you have very little expectations, or you know what you expect, but your feelings are not attached to it. So whether it pans out or it doesn't, in the present moment, you won't feel either like devastated or on a high, right? So for me, detachment is like Switzerland. It's like this neutral baseline where instead of going up and down through the spectrum of emotions with everything that goes on, we stay here in the baseline. And we only react negative or positive. We only grieve or celebrate when something actually happens to us. Then we process those feelings, but not before it happens, or not while we wait for it to happen, or not because it happened to someone else. Okay? And so that's the best way I can interpret this. Okay? So if today you are surrounded by a lot of things happening around you, you know, whether you will relate or whether you understand, it ends there. Do not carry that energy with you and start acting as if you're the one who that happened. Because, you know, if you do that, other detached people out there will be looking at you and will be like, are you for real? Like, we're not judgmental or anything, but come on, right? Like, give us a break. So yeah. All right. Now let me see which random daily codes we got today. And see how it fits the reading. It's from Saint Augustine, and it says, faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of this faith is to see what you believe. So faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of this faith is to see what you believe. So this talks about having faith and believing in like certain outcomes or causes or things that you do, even if they so that's like not outcomes, like this is like, I don't know, believing in a higher force, even though you cannot see it, touch it, feel it, because if you can, then duh, right? Like, that's not, like, there's no praise for that. Like, it's real. The idea here is like for you to be able to believe in things that you do not see, and so that's faith. And so what is the reward for that faith is usually to see what you believe. This means eventually it will manifest. So there's always a time where you have to sort of like, this talks about setting the intention and attracting things and things like that. And eventually the reward is seeing them manifest in real life. And so how does that like quote fit with today's reading? This would be probably talking about, let's say, if you detach from results, right? From outcomes or expectations, and if you detach from other people's lives and other people's energy, and if you detach from everything, like we discussed before, right? I lost my train of thought there. So if you do that, mainly what will happen is you will see a life that has less disappointments, that has less ups and downs for no purpose. Of course, it's going to have less ups and downs because your own life is going to go through a lot of changes. But if people be adding other people's lives on it, then it becomes a lot, right? Two is a crowd. So yeah. So I think like if you believe, and to believe that other things won't touch you or drag you down or drag you up for no purpose, only to let you down, is to see it manifest, and you live a life that has more peace of mind in it and has peace in it. All right, I like it a lot. Very, very beautiful. That was a very, very good reading. I like the energy today. All right, detachment is key. All right, my dear Sagittarius, I love you so, so much. Thank you for liking this video. It shows me that you appreciate my content. Thank you for subscribing. If you didn't, please make sure to click the subscribe button below. That's one of the only ways for now to be able to support me and for me to continue doing this. It's more like of an emotional support at this stage. So it's really just shows me that, yay, like I'm making a difference out there. Also, I would love to hear your comments, see how this resonates, whether it's an appreciation comment or whether you want to share something personal. I would welcome that as well. So thank you so, so much. Thank you for sharing my videos also with everyone you know and on your social media platforms. I love you, my dear Saggies. Stay blessed, aligned, and connected, and detached.